You're like, I trust my body. It is a devotional practice. It's showing up every single day without any evidence that it's going to work. And giving trust and devotion to your body, giving trust and devotion to the force that makes your body, and surrendering control. And this is where most people are stuck, because the truth is they want to keep the control and have the outcome. They don't want to surrender until they've seen the result. And that's a sticky spot to live in. And I know because I've done it and I've worked with so many people who do it as well. But we have this notion of, you prove it to me, then I'll let go of the reins. But if you think about little kids, they eat when they're hungry, they don't eat when they're not. Have you ever tried to feed a kid like you as the adult think you should be hungry by now, and they're totally not interested because they're listening to the messages of their body, and their body's like, I'm not actually hungry right now. And so they don't eat, and we think they should eat. That's why like feeding on schedules makes no sense, because there are days when you're nursing a baby where they want to eat every 15 minutes all day long. And then there are days where they go 6 or 8 hours between feedings. There's no rhyme or reason that we can deduce, but that's because their body's in charge. Their body's following the template of wisdom that is direct from the divine. It is acting in concert with the living field, and the messages are being sent out according to that information. There's a beauty to that we tend to start to forget. I remember Gay Hendricks said that when he did some kind of work early in his career with preschool and kindergarten age children, he found that by kindergarten, most kids had lost the diaphragmatic breath. So the true breath of the body, where the diaphragm descends and the belly softens. And then that's the breath where the lungs fully inflate. Its loss is a societal conditioning. It can be in case of trauma, but he found it almost 100%, which means it wasn't, all trauma. Some of it was just societal conditioning. Maybe it's even mimicking the adults in our life. But that's one of those demonstrations of disconnect from the wisdom of the body. And this is also a demonstration of how easy it is to have that shifted. We can grow up in a household where I've had clients where they actually were thin as a kid, but their mom was obsessed with dieting. And then as they got into their 30s and 40s, they started to gain weight and they couldn't do anything to shift it. And when we trace it back, they're enacting the messages they heard earlier in life that they initially didn't believe applied to them. But as soon as they saw a shift in their body, instead of trusting that it would unwind, they quickly adopted the background belief that was there because of watching that adult in their life freak out about food. The sense of being held and supported by the divine is cultivated by trust. The irony is that the trust has to precede the proof. And most of us are walking around going, nope, do it the other way. And the divine is like, would you just let go? Like, would you please just let go? Would you let me lead? And that's what happened to me when I said to my body, I realize now that I've been really harsh to you. And from here on out, I promise to never, ever, ever try to make you do anything ever again. And instead, I just want you to let me know what you need. And I will do it, even if you don't give me an expected outcome. And that was so key. I didn't do it going, all right, you give me this and I'll keep letting you lead. I gave up any notion that she needed to change her size. Guess what happened? She showed me that she wanted to change her size. That's the irony. She was waiting for me to let her resume her intelligence, resume her brilliance, resume her knowingness. She began to slowly and steadily drain dampness and inflammation from my body. She directed me very specifically to the foods that she had preference for, and she gave me instructions for when she wanted movement, when she didn't. There were some days where I thought movement was on order, and she said, no, it's a rest day. She enacted a wisdom that I could not have figured out how to enact if I had read every diet book on the planet,